Welcome, welcome. Nice to see everyone this morning. It's getting towards the end of the week and a nice holiday weekend. So hopefully everybody's anticipating that. So nice to see everyone this morning, and good morning. Welcome to our Thursday morning Mind the Moments gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them, and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino. So happy to be here on Thursdays. Thursday is Tara Day, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare's mindfulness program. Hi, Tara.
Hi, Suzanne, and welcome everyone. Nice to see you joining, and happy to be with you on this beautiful day.
Yeah, it's great to start the day together. So
Yeah.
Anybody that's new, a special welcome to you, and so glad you've joined this morning. Hopefully you'll become a regular participant, and for everyone else that's been here before and joined us before, we're so happy to have you. So today, as folks might know if you've joined before, Tara starts us off with a question, and then share some quick thoughts on a theme, and then guide us right into around a 12-minute guided meditation practice. After that, we'll have time for questions. So if you go to your Zoom screen and go to the bottom where there's a chat, you can open that up. And then you'll notice at the bottom of the chat screen, there's a blue drop-down menu that says hosts and panelists. You can change that to everyone, and then your comments will be seen by everyone in the community.
I need to do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
With that, yeah. So Tara, what is the question that you have for everyone?
Yeah, so I, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I have been thinking that, of course, it should not just be 1 month, but really dedicated to, the whole year of, just caring for ourselves in the best way possible. So as I was thinking about that and kind of, closing out this month, but also this weekend feels like the gateway to summer. And it's a time often, it can be a busy time, but it always feels like it's like things just come down just a little bit. So my question is, what is something you have watched, read, listened to, or participated in that has uplifted you? So, anything over this month that you have read, watched, listened to, or participated in that has really kind of upped your spirits, nourished you, just made you, brought a smile, anything like that. And as always, Suzanne, we will start with you.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask as well. Sarah's mentioned that she is having trouble with audio. Is anyone else having any trouble? Maybe just folks. No. Okay. All right. Sarah, I hope that resolves on your end, hopefully. Okay. Thanks for letting us know.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. Even if we could hear, just from a few of you. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, initially I watched the 11th episode of Ted Lasso last night, and I think they went through a kind of an interesting angle this season, and everything feels like it's coming around again.
Oh, nice.
It's getting to be a lot more of a people's emotions coming to the fore, and it was really just wonderful to watch. I realize I'm kind of going to miss it a lot. So that's something that came to my mind.
It's amazing too, how we get kind of attached to characters, or shows where it just feels like you're going to miss them. And
yes,
Ted Lasso. Yeah, it's great. I have to catch up. I've fallen behind on Ted Lasso, so I have to catch up. Yeah.
And what about you, Tara? Anything that's...
So, well, there's a few things, but something very recently is I participated in a 10K road race with my sister and my niece and one of my college roommates last Sunday. And we had a kind of pasta dinner the night before. and we had so many laughs, like hurt your belly laughs. And it was so fun. And the next day, the weather was perfect because it had rained Saturday, but it was cloudy, but it was, like kind of low 60s and just perfect running weather. So it was just really nice to be with family and friends and then participate together in the race. Although all four of us were completely separate, running the whole race separately. My niece, of course, who's 26, was like left us in the dust. Yeah, but it just was really great. It was great.
Ah, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Be outside exercising. There's something very,
Yes.
very, that feels great about that. Yeah, so a lot of things coming in.
Visiting
Michelle,
Mass Mocha out in Western
Mocha.
Mass. That is an amazing place.
I've not
It's,
seen it.
oh, you haven't? It's
Mm-mm.
kind of like Disney for adults in a
Really?
way. In a way, it's really, really incredible.
Hmm. So, Shil's mentioned On Purpose podcast with Jay Shetty.
Oh,
Yeah, I like Jay Shetty.
yeah, that's interesting. I'm gonna take note of that too.
Yeah. Tara Brach podcast. The Prayer of St. Francis. Yeah, how that's that can be really sustaining prayer for sure.
Yeah.
Tina Turner videos and documentary. My friends from high school, we were all sharing just all these beautiful pictures of her just amazing life.
Yeah.
So
Incredible.
that as well just fills the soul with just so many
Yeah.
emotions, just
Yeah.
knowing what she had been through and what she came on the other side from,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Nature Summit. So I signed up for that. I haven't been able to join the session, so I'm hoping I can still do that.
Yeah. I have a friend who's been doing it and has loved it.
Mm,
That is a great entry, Colleen, into summer.
yeah.
Um,
I really love that.
what the other thing I'm just thinking too, since we are sharing resources here, which I think is so helpful, is Julia Louis-Dreyfus has a podcast called
Oh,
Wiser Than Me, and she interviews older women. And Jane Fonda's her first interview, and
ooh,
it's really, really good. So it's called Wiser Than Me.
okay.
And that is also incredibly uplifting.
Hmm.
Really good.
Does she make it funny too?
Well, she can't not. Yeah, she can't not. It's just, yes. So it is funny. And some of her guests are funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Happier with Gretchen Rubin, great.
Yeah. I've not listened to the podcast. I've read the book, but
Yeah.
hmm,
And
yeah.
I just think, to be intentional about these things, about what we feed our minds, what we're taking in, both in terms of visual, hearing, really matters. And I know over the years of practicing at retreats, at the retreat center where I go, that different messages, but often consistent messages that, what we feed our minds, it's like the food for our minds really, really matters, and paying really close attention to that, and being cautious of things that are, that we're watching or listening to, viewing, reading, that are upsetting in some way. So, yeah, and I think there's a balance there, between not taking in too little and taking in too much. And because it's not about avoiding the difficult at all, because I think we need to be on top of what's happening in the world, but finding some way to balance that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a really good thought because, I feel like there's so much. My husband and I were talking about this related to Ted Lasso, that I think that's an indication to filmmakers and TV show makers that things that are really uplifting and talking about emotions and talking about like
Yeah.
conflict and friendships and things like that, people connect with and
Right.
need. And true crime has its place, but you can't live on that.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So really being intentional about what we take in. Yeah.
good
Yeah.
thoughts.
So with that, let's go ahead and move into a practice. And as always, you want to just find a posture that feels like it's going to be best for you this morning. So standing or sitting, even lying down is okay. But if you're tired, I would just a little bit of caution with that. Um, and eyes open or closed. And if you decide to keep the eyes open, you just want to gaze downward a little bit. So let's go ahead and just settle in to the posture of our choosing, and holding yourself in a way that's upright and engaged, yet at the same time, relaxed to the degree that you can. And take a couple deep breaths as a way to settle any surface tension. So deep inhalation through the nose, double the length of exhalation through the mouth. And we'll do that at our own pace. And just allow the body to surrender into the support of the ground below. And so softening, yet maintaining that spine that is upright and engaged. And allowing the body to really rest around the spine, holding you upright. And simply bring awareness to the whole body. Notice the sensations in the body from your activity so far this morning. Pulsing, vibration, beat of the heart. Aware of the points of contact with the back of the body and the surface. Just receiving what the body is offering, whether it feels pleasant or unpleasant to you, receiving what's being offered and loosening any resistance, aware that it may be there or not. And let's take just a moment to expand awareness now outside of the body to include sound in the room or outside of the room. With a soft mental note, hearing as sounds appear and disappear, or appear and remain. Just having that expanded awareness. And allowing whatever is in your background to remain there. Begin to now bring the awareness back inward, whole body. And let's find an anchor for the wandering mind, knowing that the mind will wander repeatedly many, many times throughout this practice. Not a problem. Each time we see that the mind has gone off is a really important moment, because in that moment, you are awake, you are aware, and you know where your attention is. And that's a moment of mindfulness. So thoughts slip in unnoticed, and then there's a moment of noticing. So we're going to find an anchor, and that could be the sensations you feel when you inhale and exhale, anywhere in the body where it's most noticeable. So kind of belly or chest or nostrils or something else. And as always, if breath is challenging for you this morning, a different body sensation that feels prominent is something you could use to return your attention to each time the mind wanders. So it could be the palms of the hands resting on the top of the thighs. It could be the points of contact with the back of the body and the surface, or something else. It could also be sound. So if you do have a consistent sound in your background, you can use that as an anchor. So taking a moment to locate what's going to work best for you this morning. And I'm going to recommend sticking with this for the remainder of our practice. So I'll be silent for several minutes. And as the mind wanders, not a problem. Soft mental note, thinking. In a way, the culprit has been seen. So it weakens the thought a bit. Thinking, soften the body, return, and then repeat. Noticing where the mind is, and noticing if a thought has slipped in or that a thought has slipped in. Soft mental note thinking, soften the body, and escort your attention back to your anchor. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our heart be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our bodies healthy and strong. And may the merit of our practice be for the benefit of all beings. And as you feel ready, if your eyes were closed, you can open the eyes. And whether they were open or closed, always helpful to just take a moment to reorient to the area that you are in, to the space, reconnect.
Thank you so much, Tara.
Of course. Yeah.
I have to say, I was really connecting to some of your words this morning because I typically focus on my breath as a certain part of my body, but there was a woodpecker outside.
Oh,
Was, that inconsistent sound.
yeah.
And as my thoughts were taken away from that, I was like, I wonder why a woodpecker pecks. It's
Yes.
you go down this thought spiral. And I was like, no, let's just come back. So
Yes.
it was really, that sound was challenging for me to work with.
It's
But
such a
it was a good sound. Sometimes there's
yes.
if there's a leaf blower, that's almost like that brings a whole other level of, agitation to it. So
Yeah. It's
yeah.
a really, really good example, Suzanne. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And, I think with things like that, with the leaf blower or an ambulance going by or the woodpecker, anything that quote disrupts our, the perfect conditions for our practice is such a good opportunity, just such a good opportunity to see how to work with it, because I think where this practice in my mind has been so helpful is that it really helps us to gain some comfort with that which is uncomfortable, or it helps us to have a little bit more balance and equanimity with things that are unpleasant.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
Yeah. And you think if you can find that place to come back to when you're having that difficult emotion where you could be spiraling into a really difficult,
right.
more difficult place, you
Yes.
realize, okay, I do have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have
Right.
a choice, which is
It's
helpful.
often too why this practice is a different type of like sometimes people will say, well, the meditation, I do is I go to my favorite place, which that's visualization. And that is a very different practice than mindfulness meditation. Like meditation is literally like saying the word sports. There are hundreds of different kinds. But one of the things about some of the visualization practices is it can really stir up the mind. Like, especially if you're going to your favorite place. Like, I wonder when I'm going to get back there. Do I have any plans to go there? And so just and it's always important to watch what starts to feed thought and catch that just during formal practice.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah. So
Dan Buettner. Yeah. Thank you,
yeah,
Colleen.
I don't know if I knew Dan Buettner before.
Yeah,
Okay.
he wrote Blue Zones, like, about areas in the world where people live long, long, like I think even is 100 and over, and there's a place in Italy, like I think Sardinia, Italy. There's a few, Japan is another, and then there's one other, which I can't remember, but I think, yeah.
Interesting.
Another resource from library books, Slow Living, The Secrets to Slowing Down. Oh, great. Yeah, nice, Sheila, thanks.
Yeah. That crowd of busyness it can sweep us up. And
Yeah.
gosh, having those moments, like we were talking yesterday about understanding ourselves and having some moments of downtime to actually think about what we need
Mm-hmm.
that day it's a gift. And I decided, like yesterday, I had one of those busy days, and I just decided, rather than drive to a place that I typically drive to, I decided to join this group online. I was just like, you know what? This is just
Oh,
too far. I just decided it's a beautiful
oh,
day. I want to get
that's
outside.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, nice, Suzanne. I joined that practice with you yesterday, and it was so great. Like, because how often do we really ask ourselves that question?
Yeah.
And you don't even have to have an answer necessarily, but just to kind of just pose that question to the mind.
Yes. Yeah. What do I need?
Yeah,
Because it's like anything else. When we put
yeah,
our oxygen mask on first,
yeah,
we're able to serve our family, our friends, our community, our colleagues a little bit better.
yeah,
So for
yeah,
sure, can and can provide us with some sense of ease during this really busy times. And I know Tara and I were talking as well about May coming into June, and how it can be busy for families, and planning, if you have kids, trying to plan for what's going to go on for the summer. And living in New England, our summers can be a little short, so we feel like we want to look at weekends and figure out how
yeah,
to fit things in. So
yeah, for
maybe
sure.
this weekend hopefully could be a time where you can find some time to take a breath and look at the summer. And I find that I do that. Like, I make sure I have weekends where I have nothing going on,
Yeah. And
because
it's going to be gorgeous too. I think we're high 70s. So
yes,
perfect.
yes, it is going to be
Yeah.
lovely. So thank you, Tara. Thank you for the opportunity
Yes, of
to
course.
engage in this practice and this
Uh,
conversation. Yes, and
yeah.
thank you to everyone for these resources.
Yes, yes.
Lovely to
I
share.
just like really continue to think of this community as a place to share those things that are meaningful to you and uplifting. And yeah, I'm always learning about something new. So
Yeah,
thank
for sure.
you.
All right. Well, thank you again. And so I hope you enjoy a nice long weekend. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So happy to be with you this morning, and have a lovely weekend. See you
Yeah.
soon.
Thanks, everybody.